Good morning and welcome to Marketing Matters. I'm Sarah Touchstone, Landmark Titles, social media marketing strategist and educator. I get the pleasure of bringing you guys Marketing Matters live every Wednesday morning. This month in June, it's all about the buyers. So we've talked about how to market to buyers in general. Today, we are talking about how to specifically market to VA buyers. Every buyer category is just a little bit different. VA has some very particular things that you need to consider when you're marketing to VA and working with VA. We've got the amazing Stacy Gross, who is a veteran herself, on today. You guys might have recognized her from past webinars. She is my go-to when it comes to veterans. She does so much more, but honestly, I love the insight and the energy and just her knowledge that she brings every time we're talking about working with veterans. So she's got a very special presentation for you guys today. Stacy, thank you for being on.
Yeah, thank you, Sarah. You know, many times people don't realize how many veteran buyers and service members, but how many people there are in Maricopa County specifically, but also Arizona nation, statewide, that are here for retirement purposes or what, maybe they're still active duty. But Maricopa County usually ends up in the top 3 counties in the country, along with San Diego County and Norfolk, Virginia, as for where veterans want to go to live. So we are really a highly desirable market. So understanding and not being afraid of what the VA buyer will need. So it's really critical, because a lot of times people think, oh my gosh, this is something different, I'm not sure how to approach it. Nope, we're going to take all of that. We're going to demystify all of that today. All right, so I am going to share my screen. Here we go. Okay. All right. So how to market to veterans and service members. When you're working with service members and and just in general veterans, there's some different nuances that I wanted to help you with today, kind of some of the lingo, some different things to consider. But first, I wanted to kick it off, and here's our agenda today, is talking a little bit about Women Veterans Recognition Day, which is today, engaging the veterans, service members, and their families. Families are really important and can be a key point. How to support these clients and their needs. And then also I want to talk a little bit about what the VA came out with regards to commissions and the NAR settlement. So we'll kick it off and go right into the meat and potatoes today. All right, so just spending a couple of minutes on Women Veterans Recognition Day. Women that made history. In 1948 is when they formally recognized that women were serving in the military. Kind of interesting if you think about it from a timeline, that's right after World War II, right? But tens of thousands of women had already served in the military at different functions, World War II, as far back as the Revolutionary War. So it was great that finally in 1948, women were recognized. They served as nurses, believe it or not, spies. There's even women who were disguised as men. There's a lot of fun reading material out there about what women contributed. A lot of support and a lot of admin roles. That was what I did when I was in the military. I was with a combat support hospital in the admin portion of that. But throughout my time in the military too, there were women driving trucks, helping resupplies. They were, part of the cooks. I mean, women were throughout the whole military during the first Gulf War. Women flew airplanes to England during World War II. So I had the personal privilege of getting to know a woman who did just that. She was one of the group of women there in the Women's Army Auxiliary Corps. That's what it was called at the time. This is again before World War II, or during World War II, where they would actually fly the planes to England for our service members, our Air Force, or at that time it was the Army. They would then take the planes for bombing and their portion. Key women, but there was so many women, but these were 3 that really popped out. Harriet Tubman, she was a spy during the Civil War and a key person in the Underground Railway. Mary Halloran was with the Women's Auxiliary Corps and commanded the largest all-female unit. overseas. And then Loretta Walsh, first woman to openly enlist in the Navy in 1917. So boy, these gals were really trailblazers for us and laid the groundwork. When I joined in '85, I was part of one of the first groups of women to be co-located for training with the men. It was a new concept, and they were still working out the kinks and things. But yeah, we trained right alongside the men when I was at Fort Jackson. Okay, so thank you to all of our women veterans and service members that are out there. This is a special day, and it's great to be able to acknowledge them. All right, let's jump into exactly like when you are marketing to a veteran or their family members, or in the service members too. I would strongly encourage looking at groups that you can join. And these, I'm just putting out a couple of here, but the Southwest Veterans Chamber of Commerce is a great group to belong to. And you don't have to be a veteran. They have veterans and they have patriots. And the patriots are there just supporting us and helping the veterans help get the word out, help get the support out. I am also on the board for the Veterans Administration Real Estate Professionals. That's a local group. They have chapters in Prescott, Tucson, and the Phoenix area. But this is a group where it's dedicated to educating us in the real estate profession just on everything we need to know regarding veterans. It's everything veteran related, right? So it's a great way to start getting indoctrinated and understanding how to engage with the veterans and service members here in the Valley. So look for opportunities to connect. These are just a couple of opportunities. There are lots of different ones that you can look at. And if you are interested and want more information, please don't hesitate to reach out, because this really is a great way for you to get in front of veterans. I know people who are involved out at Luke Air Force Base, helping with different things that are required or needed. There's so many different organizations that are always looking for volunteers. Again, it helps you get in front of people and meet more people. And it never hurts to include information on your social media. A lot of times, again, just as we're talking, there may be misconceptions in regards to a VA loan. The social media is a great way to put that out and let people know that you're familiar with VA loans or a VA buyer and their needs. So educating ourselves on what those needs are, and then communicating back out to the community exactly what you're doing to support those veterans, right? And service members. I like social media just because it does help get the word out. I can do that one-on-one event and then help promote that event and promote what that organization is doing. And social media helps me do that. One of the things I get asked quite frequently is, I don't even know what to say to a veteran. So what do I say to a veteran or a service member? Well, I always like to kick off my conversations with, tell me which branch you were in. Now, if I say anything different than branch, they're going to know that I'm not in the military, right? But if I say, hey, tell me a little bit about your branch. When did you serve? What did you do in the military? Again, you're trying to build rapport with those veterans, service members, and or their families. And a lot of times I'll have wives that'll reach out. And it just happens to be that I always get wives, but spouses that will ask, and I'll say, tell me a little bit about your experience. And they love to share their stories. So that's a great opportunity to engage with them and get to know them further about what they're doing. Are they retiring? Are they being transferred soon? What are their specific needs, right? Okay. So now, how do you support your clients? Let's jump into some things in regards to that. So supporting our veterans and service members and their families. There was a lot of great ways to get involved. Be prepared and stay involved. Like I was just commenting, if you can find an organization that you really like, many times getting involved with one or two organizations, attending their meetings, being part of their maybe a committee or board of directors, but making sure that you're staying involved is good. And going through training like this, and I'm going to give you a couple more suggestions on some things you can do to help you educate yourself on VA buyers. So something to keep in mind, learn the lingo. So if somebody's in the active duty service, they're actually going to refer to their pay stub as their LES. TDY is temporary duty station, right? So some of those kind of things that they will say, don't let it scare you. It's just understanding that there is I always think that real estate and lending, we have so many alphabets, our soup of all the different things that we talk about. So does the military. In fact, the military is worse, and everything's a form, right? It's got a form number to it. So again, don't let that intimidate you. The more you get engaged, the more you'll start to pick up the vernacular of what they're talking about, right? Secret weapon. Ready for this? Your secret weapon is the spouse. So many times, and this is something that a lot of times people will say, oh, well, I'm involved with a veterans group or something along those lines, which is great, but look for veterans groups that are specifically supporting for those spouses. Many times when I get a phone call, I may be getting a call from the veteran, but it's typically the spouse that is in the background working through all the paperwork. So active duty especially, they are typically the ones going forward trying to figure out where's our housing situation going to be like? What do we need to be prepared for in this move? So you can be a really great resource for them in regards to housing around the base. Let's say if they're an active duty service member, the housing that's available, what are the services that are available around that base, or being either Air Force base or post if there's an Army, but base is Air Force, and that's what we see in Arizona. We have an Army base down at Fort Huachuca, but most of what you're going to experience here is going to be with Luke Air Force Base, right? So look for groups that are involved where you can be involved with the spouses, and that takes a little bit of footwork to find that, but those particular groups are also really great resources for you, and here's why. So there's a network of spouse that help these spouses with the moves, and they refer out realtors, right? They refer out realtors, and they'll ask, so if you can engage with them, they're going to help you with an initial meeting with the particular veteran or service member, typically service member. All right. And I don't see any questions in the chat or in the Q&A. If you have any questions, please don't, hesitate, throw it in. Or if you have something from an experience standpoint you want to throw in, all tips are welcome. Certifications. So as I was just kind of talking a little bit about learning the lingo, learning the understanding of how the military is set up, the different branches and how they operate, the best way to do that is through these two different certification programs. So VA Rep does have the Military and Veteran Housing Certification Program, and NAR, National Association of Realtors, offers a Military Relocation Professional. Both of these are outstanding designations to get or certifications to get. I highly recommend it because, again, it just arms you with a little bit more information that could prepare you for those service members or veterans buyers and understanding to their needs. So just something to keep in mind. Plus, it's also not a bad idea. Then you can promote it on your LinkedIn profile, your signature line on your email, include your designations, and also include it in all of your materials that you're sending out, that you've got that designation, because it does matter. It does matter. And veterans and service members do look for people that specialize in VA loans. Like Sarah said, I do all kinds of loans, but I've really focused on VA because I've seen so many veterans who didn't know they even could use their veteran benefits. And that breaks my heart because it is really a great loan. I've got a veteran right now that I'm working with, and the reason he can get in this house is because he's got the VA loan. Otherwise, we would have had a lot more challenges. So, it's a great loan and a great product to use. And if you have, if you're looking at it and how you can assist people with a VA loans in particular, understanding some of the vernacular and some of the stuff that is needed with those loans, it's not a bad idea. Not that you have to be the loan expert, but having a working understanding is always to your benefit. Okay, so I want to spend a few minutes talking about the VA position on commissions. I've included this, and I'm happy to share the letter from the VA. If you are interested, you can let Sarah know or throw your email in the chat box, and I'll make sure you get a copy of this. So I'm just going to reference this really quick. It is a temporary variance. So they're still kind of working out, and that, I will be honest with you, always makes me a little nervous because with VA, it takes so much to get anything accomplished. So for us to have this in place and not have it permanent, just know that that's the operative word. This is temporary. But it does allow for the veteran to pay the buyer broker commission. It cannot be financed at this point. It does, the veteran has to pay it. So with one of them that we recently structured, we use seller concessions to cover the buyer broker commission. You can do that. That's not a problem because those concessions can be used for that. But this does where it's now, and we are one of those areas in ARMLS, is that we don't have the broker commission in the, and forgive me my terminology here, but we're in the MLS. So you've got the ability for the buyer to pay, and then the buyer broker compensation cannot be established by or flowed through the listing broker. Again, using the seller concession might be a way, but also if the buyer is going to pay for it at close of escrow, it goes directly to the buyer's agent. That's what that means. And then the buyer broker charges are not included in the loan amount. As I mentioned, the buyer cannot pay for it. Buyer broker charges paid or to be paid by the veteran are to be considered in determining whether the veteran has sufficient liquid assets to close a loan. So what that means is the loan officer on a VA has to confirm that the buyer has the funds for closing. So we have to either verify it could be a gift. And so if let's say we're getting a gift from a relative, we can use the gift to cover that, as would be with any traditional loan right for closing costs. So just keep that in mind. We can use a gift, but we would have to verify that. That would be something that if you are showing your buyer homes and you're finding that the listing is not, the seller is not paying a commission, please notify your loan officer, because the loan officer is going to need to be able to verify, does our buyer have funds for closing costs if need be, and for their to pay your commission. And if they're tight on funds, that could cause an issue, right? And there's certain things that we have to account for. So just something to keep in mind, because especially if we're accounting for the earnest money, obviously it's great. And hopefully, as Sarah touched on, we're seeing it becoming leaning more towards buyers. So hopefully we'll see sellers accounting for that and including commission in for all of our buyers, truly for all of our buyers. But at least we've got this flexibility with the VA, right? Okay. All right. And so I'm gonna come to the end. I don't know if we have any questions out there. We've got something in the chat box. Okay, Lucy, I will get that to you and to Christina. Yes. So I will get those over. And I just want to take a moment and thank Sarah and Landmark. Their dedication, I mean, this month, and then when we do our Veterans Day event, thank you for taking the time, because I don't think that happens enough, and it's great to be able to share back some things with our community.
Yeah, Stacey, I love the fact too that you always mention that we are a hotspot for enlisted, for veterans, and it really does. It makes such a difference. I know my son he's in junior ROTC, and he's planning to enlist as soon as he graduates. So these are things that I'm like, okay, all right, good. I'm taking notes over here, because as soon as he can, we want to help him with his benefits, and help him to start building equity and utilizing these things. So even from a personal standpoint, this is such great information. We did have a question that just came up from Kat. I'm about to go to a VA hospital to get some advice on how to reach out to vets retired and active. She wants to know if that would be a waste of time.
Not at all. Not at all. I will tell you, I'm involved with the Arizona Caucus of Veterans Caucus. I'm involved with the Arizona Department of Veteran Services. And getting familiar with the services that they offer, hot topics that are happening for our veterans, all of that is great. The VA for a while prior to COVID actually had opened up areas for just in general for veterans to get additional information on housing. I don't know if they're doing that any longer, but having a connection at the VA is super smart because again, you're getting right in front of those people. I would say, which hospital would you recommend? So there, remember, you've got the VA hospital down on 7th Street in Indian School. That's the big hospital for Arizona. There's several different ancillaries. There's clinics now. There's, clinics all over the state. So I would just say anywhere you can get your foot in the door. Don't hesitate. Go out prepared and ask questions. And, again, groups that you can join, consider doing that too.
Yeah. And I know that there is, with everything that is going on with buyers and commissions, and I know that a lot of people are nervous to work with VA buyers right now, just because it's kind of a gray area. That's what I'm going to say. It's not good. It's not bad. It's just, there's some unknown factors that are still being worked out. But these buyers, they need representation. Sure. And sometimes they're working with a very small window of time. So, reaching out, working with them, and becoming educated. I think this goes across the board with everybody right now, no matter who you're working with, buyers, sellers, veterans, first-time home buyers, who we're going to talk about later in the month, whoever you're working with, get as much education as you can right now. If your business is not booming, we get asked a lot, like, what can I do? Figure out what is exactly going on today in the market, and really get that education, spend some time, do your CEs, pay attention when you're doing your CEs, and just be the person in the know. That's really what people need right now, is they need that education. And they're going to come to you if they know that you are the one that is out there working towards it. So if you guys have any other questions, please let us know. Stacy, could you put your contact information in the chat in case anybody else wants to reach out to you? I know we've got a couple of people that reached out requesting the VA letter. And I am going to wrap up today with other classes that we have coming up. Now, quick reminder, there is no webinar next week. It is Juneteenth. So celebrate, reflect. It's kind of cool that we've got Veteran Women's Day to this week, and then next week is Juneteenth. But we'll be coming right back on the 26th with the topic of first-time home buyers. That's another category that is a little bit different to work with. So you'll want to attend that. First-time home buyers are great to work with, but there's definitely some different techniques that you can use to market to them and to work with them. So that's going to be on the 26th. And then next week, next Tuesday, we've got two great classes going on. One is probates, trusts, and wills. This is going to be at our Goodyear branch, our Landmark Title office. It's just off Litchfield Park. This is going to be from 9 until 10:30 a.m. Space is limited for this one, so please RSVP to Renee if you would like to attend that. And then on our East Valley side, in the afternoon, we've got estate planning. So this is a big topic right now, right? We've got two classes, whether you're on West Valley or you're East Valley, same day, you can attend, you can get the information. Once again, this is something that is a really big topic right now for realtors to be educated on and to help out with. This one's going to be at the Total Wine at Tempe Marketplace from 2 to 4. Yes, you guys know every time I say location at Total Wine, there is complimentary wine tasting. So reach out to Keith and Beth on that one if you'd like to attend. And then the end of the month, we've got a CE class. This is the ins and outs of AZ water law. These are great CE classes to attend. So if you're looking to get 3 hours of legal issues, Water topics here in Arizona, you're always going to learn something. This one is from 9:30 until 12:30, and it is at the atrium at Arrowhead. So if you'd like to attend that one, reach out to Renee and RSVP. Of course, every month, even through summer, we've got our Moon Valley Home Tour and our Biltmore Luxury Tour. If you're looking for great content for social media, marketing, connections, networking, or just once again, being around like-minded individuals who know what's going on in the market, attend either one of these. Both of these, they are just absolutely fabulous. I go to both on a regular basis. They're really, really good tours. And then looking all the way ahead to September, up in Prescott, Michelle is helping to host the second annual scavenger hunt. They did this last year and it was a hoot. It goes all around the square in Prescott. Teams of 2, they compete. It's fun. You've got some time to RSVP for this, but make sure that you do so that they've got all the numbers. And whether you're a Prescott agent or you're a Valley agent, Prescott is an hour, I think, to get to downtown Prescott. It's like an hour and 20 minutes from here. So head on up. These things are super fun. And yes, there are prizes and a happy hour. So that is it for us today, guys. I will miss you next week, but don't worry, we'll be back. We've been doing this regularly for about 4 years now. And it's just great. So if you guys have any comments, questions, topics that you want covered, please reach out. This is customized to exactly what it is that you are looking for. Fill out the survey. It takes 1 minute. Yes, got a minute? It's like 3 questions, 1 minute. Fill it out. Let me know. I love feedback. And of course, reach out to your business development managers throughout the summer. I know things have slowed down a little bit, but that just means that it's a great time to work with your business development managers, whether that's coming up with a new business plan, coming up with new creative marketing strategies, or changing, the way that you're approaching your clients. Whatever the topic, they are there to help you. So reach out to Beth, Keith, Mary, Michael, Michelle, Patty, and Renee. They're here all summer, guys. They may take a week vacation, but they'll be right back and right here to work with you. And of course, thank you to Landmark Title for allowing us to bring you Marketing Matters every single week. It's always a pleasure to be on here. Of course, as you're out there and you're doing business this summer, please think of us on your next contract. We've got 7 offices across the valley, 1 in Prescott, 2 in Nevada. So we're here all summer for everything and anything that you need. Title, marketing. We love our partnerships with you all. And we love our partnership with Stacy. Stacy's incredible. She's a wealth of knowledge. If you haven't had time to actually sit down and meet with Stacy, reach out to her. She put her contact information in there. You could not have a better partner in this industry than Stacy Gross. So that's her little plug, because it's all honest and it's all true. So thank you for coming on. I always know that, like I said, whenever I've got a topic, and it's not just veterans, guys. She hosts our Arizona real estate series. She's just a wealth of knowledge. So reach out. Stay tuned. Stacy will be back. So if you can't get enough Stacy, remember that she does host the Arizona Real Estate Series. We just had our last one on the 6th. So last Thursday. If you want a copy of that recording too, if you weren't able to attend live, we do record it. So reach out and have a fabulous week, guys. I'll see you in 2 weeks on here.
Thank you, Sarah. Take care.
Thank you.